Thanks for choosing Tiger Den Sports with Jason Dorsey, your number one place for all things LSU.
Welcome in, Tiger fans, to the Tiger Den. This is your host, Jason Dorsey, and on this great episode, we're going to talk about LSU fall camp preview, and we're going to preview the offensive line today. We've been doing a series on fall camp preview. I did quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers so far. Today is offensive linemen. And we can also talk about SEC Media Days and what went on today. Brian Kelly's interview and what he had to say. But before I get into it, if y'all new here, this channel is all about LSU. I do breaking news, recruiting, daily news updates. So if y'all love LSU, y'all hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Y'all follow me on Twitter at TigerDenLSU. On YouTube is Tiger Den Sports. So let's get into it. So today was SEC Media Days, and Brian Kelly was first to the podium. Well, one thing that aggravates me is how everybody picks on Brian Kelly's accent. What is the big deal about his accent? He's from Boston. He has a strong Boston accent. Why pick on the guy? It doesn't make any sense. They need to leave his accent alone. I'm tired of it. People just need to leave it alone. One of the questions they asked him today is, what is your favorite food to eat in Louisiana? Which, hey, that's a perfectly fine question. But what's not fine is you tell him, can you tell me what's your favorite food in Louisiana using your best Louisiana accent? For what? You wouldn't ask any other coach that. That doesn't make any sense. Leave his accent alone. I'm tired of hearing about it. Let him coach his team. Why don't you ask questions about the team instead of his accent? But anyway, one of the questions they asked him was about his quarterbacks and who was going to start and everything like that. Well, he didn't say who the starter is going to be, but he did say Miles Brennan is a great leader on the team. So that's a little hint there that he loves Miles Brennan leadership. And he also gave you 3 things that he wants his quarterback to be able to do. The first thing is he wants him to get it to his playmakers. He got great weapons on the outside with his receivers. So he wants his quarterback to be able to get it to his receivers in open space, make quick decisions, so his weapons can do their thing. If you can get a quarterback that can do that, LSU is going to be great for it. So the first thing is get it to the playmakers. The second thing is, if I'm remembering correctly, y'all gotta remember, I'm blind trying to do this. I don't have papers in front of me, so I'm trying to remember everything he said right off the top of my head. And I think that's pretty cool that I can do that. But anyway, so the second thing is he wants his quarterbacks to be a leader. And like he said, Miles Brennan is a leader. He's been there for 6 years. He's been around the program. He got great respect from his teammates. So, will he be the starter? I don't know. And the third thing, he wants his quarterback to be able to make plays. If the pocket breaks down, he wants him to be able to scramble out the pocket, run for a few yards for a first down, throw somebody open, whatever it takes. Basically doing whatever it takes to make a play. Don't take a sack. Get the ball out of your hands. And I think if you listen carefully, that was very specific things that he wants from his quarterback. So as you watching fall camp or hearing news about fall camp, and you really want to know who the quarterback is, just look at those 3 specific things. Look at if he's getting the ball out to the playmakers, making the right reads, being a leader, if he's making plays with his feet, making plays scrambling, then you'll be able to know who the quarterback's going to be before they announce it, if you watch carefully. So that was just one of the questions. And then they brought up, well, did you take the LSU job because of the Alabama beating Notre Dame both times? And he shut down that quickly. He said, no, he did not take the LSU job because Alabama beat Notre Dame. He took the LSU job because it was great timing. Yes, $100 million helps. I would have probably took a job for $100 million as well. But it was great timing for him. If you listen to his introduction press conference at the beginning when he first got hired at LSU, he said it. He took the job because of it was the right time for him. And at Notre Dame, you have academic issues. You have to recruit people that have high GPAs and things like that. So the 5-star receivers, the 5-star corners, the 5-star safeties, the linebackers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, you don't always get those athletes at Notre Dame because of academic issues. Like LSU, I think you have to have, maybe a 3.0 to go to the school. Alabama is like a 2.8. Notre Dame's probably like a 3.8. I didn't look at all the stats and stuff. I'm sure y'all can Google it. What's the academic, what's your GPA? What's the academic standards at these schools? But it's just different at different schools. So he came over to LSU so he can get those players. He could not get them at Notre Dame no matter what Notre Dame fans say, no matter what Notre Dame media says. They say that he's a lazy, no good recruiter. That's basically what they say. They say that he doesn't work hard in recruiting and he can't get the top players. Well, look what he's doing at LSU right now. He got a 5-star wide receiver that just committed in Jaylen Brown. Look at the 4 defensive linemen that he got. It's 4 4-star defensive linemen. He got a 4-star corner in Dalen Austin. Yes. Did he get 3 stars as well? Yes. But y'all got to remember something. This year and next year, there's no cap on how many players you can sign. You can sign up to, as long as you have 85 scholarship players on the team. So you can sign 40 high schoolers right out of high school if you wanted to. So he's going to be able to get players that he could not get at Notre Dame. And he basically said that at Media Day today. You know, that's why he took LSU. It was great timing, and he can get better players here. And he was also asked about the SEC conference, how he likes the scheduling and all that type of stuff. And he said he loves it because competition is so great. He loves it because you can't take a day off. Your training sessions in fall camp and spring have to be big time so you can endure the SEC. And that's why he took the LSU job. He took it for the competition. And LSU fans, y'all be grateful that we have this type of coach. He's bringing standards to LSU that we haven't seen in years, probably since Nick Saban left LSU. That's the standards he's bringing here. And y'all going to be surprised on how well LSU football does this year and years to come. That's basically what went on at Media Day. He also brought Mike Jones, B.J. Ojulari, and Jack Besh. But I did not listen to all the interviews, so I don't want to say things that they said just yet. Maybe in a different podcast, I will talk about the interviews they had and what they had to say. So if y'all interested in that, y'all subscribe, y'all follow, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so y'all don't miss whenever I upload the video on Jack Besh, Mike Jones, and B.J. Ojulari. It might be sometime this week, so don't miss it. So now we're going to transition into LSU fall camp preview. We're going to preview the offensive line this year. As you know, under Orgeron, that offensive line was dreadful. We had players on that offensive line that probably should not have been there. They could not recruit the top offensive lineman. They could not develop the any offensive lineman, basically. I mean, it was dreadful. The quarterbacks didn't have a chance to stand in the pocket. Think about it. Even in 2019, when you had Joe Burrow, he was still running for his life back there, but he made plays with his feet to make up for the dreadful offensive line. So, let's go through a few names here. I mean, they have like 15 different offensive linemen. We have really great depth. You look at left tackle. Will Campbell, the freshman, looks like he's going to be the starting left tackle this year. Opening day against Florida State, or opening night against Florida State, I should say. Will Campbell is probably going to be your left tackle. Every report I hear is that he can hold his own. And if he makes a mistake, he can get back up, shake it off, and get right back in there. Most freshmen can't do that. Most freshmen get down on themselves and then have another bad play, and it just keeps stacking up. But from every report I get, Will Campbell is a beast. He gets up, he does his job. He is a freshman, so he's going to make some mistakes. But the good is going to outweigh the bad in this situation. Then you look at left guard. I'm believing Tremont Shorts will be your starting left guard, the transfer. I forgot where he transferred from. But he was one of the top offensive line transfers in the class. I mean, you have Garrett Dellinger. You have a few other guys. I'm trying to think of their names right off the top of my head. I can't think of none right now. But you have Garrett Dellinger. You got Charles Turner that can play center. You have Marlon Martinez that can play tackle or guard. So you have a few options. But Tremont Shorts is going to hold his own at left guard. Then you move over to center. That's the issue I think LSU offense is going to have. We'll come back to center in a minute. Y'all keep watching. Y'all subscribe. Y'all follow along. We'll come back to center at the end. So we move over to right guard. You got Miles Frazier. I think he came from Florida Atlantic, I believe he came from. Transfer. He was a freshman last year, All-American transfer. He played left tackle over there. So he's a really good pickup as well. And if you can move him from left tackle to right guard, that's a huge move because you got Will Campbell who shuts down left tackle. You got Tremont Shorts who can handle left guard. You got your center, what we're going to talk about in a minute. You got right guard Miles Frazier. And then you move over to right tackle. Now, this is a big one too because you got Marlon Martinez. You got Cam Wire. Cam Wire started some games at left tackle for you. So if he moves over to right tackle, he might do even better because it's not like the hot position, I guess you should say. But at right tackle, he might be even better. Because at left tackle, he had his issues. He had some troubles, but he had good games as well. So if you can move him from left tackle to right tackle, I think that would be a good move for him. But like I said, you got Marlon Martinez. You got Garrett Dellinger. There's a 5-star lineman that I'm missing right now. Oh, Cardale Thomas. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. But because he had such a bad coaching staff, they did not develop him. But I think under Brian Kelly, you're going to see a lot better development from him. And he might not start. But if somebody gets hurt or somebody does go down and can't hold his own, Cardale Thomas might be the way to go. if he's getting developed right. Brad Davis is not a bad offensive line coach. He got there late last season and trying to put in his techniques, his philosophy, and try to teach these men what he wants out of them and try to develop them. It was a little rough last year because they didn't trust him. They didn't know him. Trying to learn a new scheme with him, new technique. I'm sure it was difficult, and that's why they struggled sometimes. But now that you had a whole year to help these players, I think it's going to be a lot better. So let's go look at centers now. You got Charles Turner. When he came in to LSU as a freshman, he was a 3-star center, but he was only 265 pounds. He wasn't ready to go. He could not play center at the SEC level at 265 pounds. So there's a lot of development there that you had to do with him. I think he's up over 300 now or close to it. So with this strengthened conditioning program that Brian Kelly and Jake Flint brings to LSU, he's going to get stronger. He's going to get quicker. His technique's going to be better. I mean, he's four year, I think, been at LSU. I think that's how long he's been there. So he knows the program. He knows the ins and outs. He's been there with Brad Davis for a couple years now. So I think that the center position is going to be in good hands with Charles Turner. If not, I heard that Brad Davis is working out Garrett Dellinger there. And can Garrett Dellinger take over the center spot? I'm sure. He just got to learn how to hike the ball. The shotgun snaps are what hurts some centers because they're not used to doing it. And I don't think he ever played center in his life. He played guard and tackle. But moving over to center, if he can handle the shotgun snap, I think that the offensive line this year would be Will Campbell, Tremont Shorts, Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, and I believe Cam Wire at right tackle. Now, you got to remember, we got also Emory Jones as a freshman. He can play guard or center. So, if he comes in ready to play, he didn't get here till like June or July, I think, in the training session. So, he missed out since January like Will Campbell was here in January. So, if Emory Jones is SEC ready, strong enough, physical enough, mentally stable, and able to play that position, if something happens, you have depth at center, guard, and tackle. People might say offensive line is our weakness, and rightfully so. But this offensive line this year, under the right leadership in Brian Kelly, who established great offensive linemen at Notre Dame, I can put my faith in him and my trust in him that he's going to get this offensive line at the standard he wants. And with Brad Davis beside him, our offensive line is in great hands. And y'all going to see growth from the first game until the last game. I'm saying right now, John Emery behind this offensive line with Brian Kelly and Brad Davis will have over 1,000 yards rushing this year. That's my prediction. Hold me to it. If it doesn't happen, then y'all tell me that I was wrong. So, y'all subscribe. Y'all follow me on Twitter at TigerDenLSU. And I'll see y'all next time. Please like, share, follow, and comment. Until next time, thanks for listening. Go Tigers.